No, certainly not, as we do get ourselves into game number 1, round 2 of our 3rd regional. Will Solary be able to cause an upset here? As you look across the field, and I feel like one player I'm looking at here more than anyone else, Johnny, is Exotic. If he can be on top form, maybe he can cause BDS a little bit of trouble, but outside of that, I'm not too keen on their chances to open up that defense.
Yeah, I agree. Exotic is a great player. He's, I think, the star player of this team. But the whole team Solary have been struggling a lot more than we expected. You know, both these teams we're currently looking at are the two that made it into RLCS out of Season 9. They were the two that, well, BDS auto-promoted as Solary were the team that made it through the promotion and relegation tournament before the format was completely revamped. So they should be pretty close in power level if, you know, nothing changed between Season 9 and Season X. Obviously, we know that's not the case. BDS have elevated their own game significantly, and Solary have remained, I'd say, around about the same level, if not stagnated a little bit.
We're going to be under a bit of trouble immediately. BDS seeing what they are capable of on the offensive side. Not too worrying so far. Both teams easing into it, as I do believe we've got a brand new car on Carrion today. So it should be interesting to see what he can do with it as he goes straight into the offense, and Monkey Moon will keep it out.
And he's got the gold crown as well. I can proudly say that's the same as me. Didn't get the platinum in the original Season 1. Oh, big chance for Mark by 8. That's a crazy pre-jump by Carrion. Luckily for him, he did not need to watch that go in past him. But early on, it's a promising back and forth for Solary. They're not being completely dominated. They're not being totally pushed back into their half. They seem to be hanging in there mechanically. But BDS still don't look too threatened. You know, they're such an experienced team now with all the deep runs they've been making in tournaments, the grid and RLCS X, that this will be totally okay for them as well. They're gonna, I'm sure, just wait for a good chance to come along and smash it home.
Monkey Moon does at least get a double commit out, but Yukis crucially with his second touch. So where BDS are at their best when they've got you locked into your own side of the field. The only bad thing for them is that Extra was on 0 boost. I think he's struggling to find anywhere on the field right now. So maybe Solary of the chance here. Exotic, flip reset secured, and he's managed to get it over top of 2 off the post.
Yeah, that was the best play of the game so far. Exotic with a very nice outplay. Fortunately, the entire team was in defense for BDS. That's another great play. Exotic with the threatening flick, but that's going to be saved by the crossbar. You know, it's your man that you highlighted who's making all the plays. Exotic, very close there on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, it feels good to highlight someone they don't instantly score an own goal.
That's how you never pick Turbo Pulse as your player to watch.
He's been a good boy these last few months, but even then, he's never going to get rid of the rep.
Oh!
Carrion has got to start off here. Solary have the lead.
Maybe this is the beginning of the end of the Fennec main in Europe. Look at that. Brand new car. It looks like somewhere between the Merc and the Fennec to me for Carrion. Gonna need to take a closer look at him. Probably try it out myself later on if he continues to play well and have a good game. Yeah, I would, you know, look at his player POV. That's what I would say. It's like the Merc and the Fennec have had a baby. And oh, what a save by Exotic! That was threatening from Extra. But Solary are playing very well right now, putting in some good shots. Oh, Mark by 8, the recovery out, just deflects one in. Great awareness by Mark. The Solary have played well, but you can't deny BDS forever.
That is just such a good hit from Monkey Moon as well. I don't know if you knew too much about Mark. We've got to the point now where it comes to BDS, it's just so quick with their passing plays that it's hard to tell what is intentional and what is not. Sorry, that is going to be a bit of a gut punch. They've looked good in this game, if not, at least it's in a bit more of a subdued BDS, but that's not going to last too much longer. Triple commit, however, Carrion's got an open net, and there is no way he's going to miss.
Wow, well, that wasn't what I expected. Total whiff by Mark on the rebound, but even more crazy, perhaps, is BDS third man decided that a 50-50 with the Solary goalkeeper was a good idea. That's extremely risky gameplay, and it hasn't paid off.
There we go. Solary have got their lead back. Might be able to get another one here. Yukis off the backboard, far too heavy for his teammate to move in on. Still be up to Yukis. And Solary want to keep this lead this time around. doing a good job of pressure. Oh, Exotic wanted the pass to Carrion, but he was already leaving. Can't afford to be too loose with these infield passing plays, otherwise you get under pressure just like this. These passes are available for anybody to make up on. Exotic down to Extra. I'm going to bounce awkwardly. Instead, Yukis powers the ball downfield.
I'm impressed with Solary so far. Look at that pass in field. It's well saved by Monkey Moon. But Solary clearly playing at quite a good level today. This has been a very back and forth matchup. I'd go as far as say that Solary have had the better chances. So deserved leads so far. And, you know, it's not a game that BDS have just thrown away, really. They had that one mistake where the 50-50, I think, leading up to the second goal for Solary was definitely too risky for my liking. But overall, they've been playing quite a clean game, just end-to-end stuff. But yeah, giving away possession every now and then. Monkey Moon's going to try and clutch it for them. He's gone into the backboard, and it's just gone into the ground. The rebound was out of reach. And that was pretty close. BDS, they always find a way to keep things interesting.
That was definitely a bit of a moment where you just hold your breath if you are on Solary, but they have got game number 1 secured. Now, can they do it for games 2 and 3? I don't think there's any world, Johnny, that let's say BDS do end up losing this, then we look and just go, all right, well, BDS are now in definite trouble of being eliminated from today's bracket. But for Solary, a win here can give them a lot of future opportunities when it comes to seeding.
Yeah, I would agree. BDS don't seem to me like the type of players who will overrate themselves and start to get too cocky, start to get too confident with how things are going. I think those 2 regional wins have only motivated them to grind more and to try and stay ahead. So I have no doubt that they would be able to bounce back if they do lose this series, and that if they do lose to a Solary team who I think are playing some great Rocket League right now. But yeah, what a game for Solary. That was impressive. That's what we expected from them going into Season X. That's been missing in the entire offseason and the season up until now. But, so far, very well played by all 3 players.
Oh, good save, but they're not going to get another one. Mark starts us off. That's just how quickly it can be. Look at the placement of this shot from Monkey Moon. Puts it into the one spot where it's going to be so difficult for Solary to figure out who's supposed to go.
Yeah, Carrion was totally blind in that play. He wasn't really sure where he should be hitting the ball. In some worlds, it is the correct play to just stop it on your goal line if you've got a teammate ready to follow up and clear it for you. As we can see, that wasn't available because of the double commit that occurred. But yeah, it's a very difficult position to know what to do when the defender is facing away from the box and he can't see where the attackers are coming from.
Gibbs was talking earlier on about how he doesn't feel like chaos is the way to take on BDS, and I feel like from what we've seen this series, that is completely true. If you can slow the pace down and just play as clean as possible, almost as boring as possible is the way I would describe it, you can maybe steal a few games off them.
During that entire conversation about how to beat BDS, besides the obvious, there is no way to beat them. I think the unexplored strategy so far has to be the addition of faking, bumping, demoing to the quick chat. Maybe getting those quick chats spammed and trying to pair them up with actual fakes and bumps. Anything to get BDS out of the zone, to get them to stop thinking about the game and stop thinking about how good they are at the game and start thinking about, okay, wait, what quick chat are we going to do? Get them thinking about anything that isn't Rocket League related.
My only counter argument to that is you might just annoy them and then they'll score even more on you. The backboard, here comes Extra. Let's beat Carrion to the ball, but at least Carrion was able to at least power the ball a bit further on. Mark again gets the double commit off his shot. Mark is just hanging out the bait and Solary are biting on it every time.
Yeah, it's just too delicious. It's too juicy. But you'll notice, although that's clearly a defensive mistake, there's no reason for 2 players to go to that ball. There's definitely no reason to clear it out into the middle of the box. It is worth mentioning that that's an awkward save to make. If you see, Mark's taking a look up and he sees some back wall defenders, it's quite difficult to jump off that back wall above the crossbar and get down underneath the ball and then clear it into a safe angle. It's just proof really that bad shots can lead to goals. Not a bad shot, but an awkward shot maybe is a better word. It's hard to save, hard to clear.
that there is the majority of teams that we see will power that one off the backboard.
Yeah.
More times than not. But because the shot is not too powerful, but it is still threatening, something has to be done with it.
Well, yeah,
you don't have much time to communicate who's supposed to work with that one.
Exactly. The goalkeeper didn't have any momentum. They're just stationary. They're waiting for the ball to come to them. So if you just throw a lob at them, if you throw a really slow ball, it's very difficult for a goalkeeper to clear that because they're looking for a power shot. They're looking for a hard hit that they can deflect off their own back wall, which will naturally bounce to safety. By hitting the shot slowly, it actually made it more difficult for the Solary defenders to get the save.
Exotic now on the backboard, waits for the half volley. Sorry, our game up, but that might not be lasting too much longer. Exotic.
Oh, no way.
Reset. What a goal this would be! But he's so unfortunate to hit the crossbar. Continued pressure, but the chance is gone.
Oh, what a goal that would have been. Double touch off the ceiling, catches it with a flip reset, and then goes for a double touch off the backboard, all in one aerial play. I swear Exotic's playing with a boost add-on. He must have more than 100, but beautiful. I was really just rooting for that to go in so we could watch it again in the replay. It hasn't happened, and now Extra will make it 3-0. BDS are running away with game 3. Some, panic defense from Solary, no doubt. But they're still making plays. That was crazy from Exotic.
I think we've seen that once before by Astral. That is it. That is a once in a never sort of play that we almost got to see go in. I'm so upset we can't even blame anyone on BDS for saving it. Like, I wanted a villain out of this at the very least.
Yeah, so it's a once if you're Astral type of play. And everybody else, and almost maybe at best, but yeah, overall, Solary can't be too upset with how this series is going. Both goals that they did concede to break the deadlock here were goals that they could have done something about. You know, I'd say it's more frustrating to play BDS and just not really know what to do. You look at the grand final of the last RLCS X regional for EU, and that seemed like Giant's situation that they were in. You know, they lost games 1 and 2. They were both pretty close games, and they just looked lost. They're like, what do we do against this team? They're just beating us, and there's really nothing. No options available to us to come back against them. But you know, Solary, the game plan is pretty simple. Let's just stay calm. You know, let's just make sure that we communicate in defense, so we don't double commit on those slow center balls. And then yeah, this could have easily been a 0-0, maybe a 1-0 if Exotic scores that banger. Game that is not as obvious as the scoreline would suggest.
Certainly not. I think it's one part of BDS that is almost understated is that we talk all the time about how quick they are, but that's how quick they can be when they want to be. They mix up the pace on you. They get to a point where you are forced to play at that breakneck pace where you are trying to predict everything. And then they slow it. They, next shot, not going to be the power shot that you're expecting. Now you're so far away from the ball, you can't react to it because you have started to position so far back. And BDS get themselves a free possession. It is their varied offense that causes them to be such a threat.
Oh yeah, BDS they're a comfortable team playing the ground game. If we told them that this series was a no aerials allowed series, they would be totally okay with that. Then you can't say that about every team in Europe or even in the high level 3v3 game. You know, you look at top blokes, they would probably just forfeit on the spot if you told them they weren't allowed to aerial. But BDS, they're okay with that. They could play, and if you told them, okay, you're only allowed to play for 50-50s this game, they'd be like, okay, yeah, we could do that. You can only dribble, yep, fine. Only aerial, not a problem. They're adaptable. They can slow things down, like you said. They can just suddenly decide, okay, it's demo time. We're just going to go at breakneck pace, steal all the boosts, and smash the other team. And that is something that is so valuable in the modern game, because you're not just going to get completely caught off guard by a team like Vitality, who like to switch up their style mid-series. I think that's probably why BDS have had the best record against them. They can win no matter really what the other team is doing.
Yeah, and that's what makes that conversation that we had on the desk so much more difficult, is that any answer we could give about how to beat BDS would work for a game. Maybe you get another goal in game 2, but it doesn't work for that long, as this is going to be passed straight over to Mark by 8. He wants the infield, but nobody around for him and the rest of the team. Here's Exotic with a booming clear.
Oh, what?
The wits part was Carrion has decided to go and live back there.
What on earth is Carrion doing on the back wall? I mean, it almost worked. I'm not criticizing the play. It's
I believe
just very
the communication
unexpected.
was, you see me.
Yeah, you see me? I'm on their back wall. Just the ranked game's calm. Or you just got one player who likes to be in random positions You know, it definitely had a chance to catch BDS off guard there. Move the back wall a bit closer to the midfield with a nice little catch, but it was slightly out of reach for him. So I'm impressed with Solary's offense. They look like a threat. They look mechanically efficient. The panicky defense seems to be their major problem so far, and I don't know if that's to do with communication or just lack of synergy, but that's what I'm looking for. If they can keep that clean, this is going to be a very close series.
Good flick up by Monkey Moon, still being chased down by other players. Exotic looks for the turn off the ceiling. Exotic has been so instrumental when it comes to slowing down the transition game of Team BDS. It's on target. Yukis, though, clears. He might have an option to his left as it is being chased down. Not the best few touches here from Monkey Moon, but makes enough of it to have the follow-up contact go to the other side of the field.
Just like game one, Solary are matching BDS mechanically for now. I don't think we've seen BDS step it into that top gear just yet. Oh, that's a great demo. Mark had the goal open there, but the shot hit off the post. Great 50-50 by Exotic, though. No boost, but he's still got a huge win in the play. That's bought Solary all the time they needed to level out what could have been a nasty pressure play for BDS. Yeah, well, where I'm just waiting as well, the real question, like I said, about Exotic and about Solary is, can they keep that defense clean? Can they avoid those double commits that happened in the last game? And for BDS, when are they just going to start popping off? When are they going to up the aggression? Because I've not seen as many attempted off-the-ball plays from them as we usually do.
No, it's certainly no offense that could be described as a flurry just yet from either team. Solary especially have been kind of hopeful on, one attempt. All right, and now everyone get back. We have to defend against this situation. That is a fantastic block. Here comes Exotic.
Wow.
2 players used. Can always double commit to a save as long as you've got someone to follow it up. Exactly what BDS did. Another double commit. Okay, it's getting a little bit more of a habit now, lads. Over to the wall. Exotic has got his back turned, but he's always happy playing from here.
Ooh.
More power than defender expects.
Yeah, extra outplaying one there, but couldn't get it past Exotic, who's just skipped the ball past the first challenge. I'm impressed with Solary, honestly. This is a very good look for them in an overall disappointing season. These players are all very high-rated players. They're, coming off such a successful Season 9 and seeing teams like Giants and BDS step it up. Seeing, players like Archie for top blokes to suddenly burst onto the highest level of the scene. It must be a bit annoying to Solary to think, well, these guys were our peers last season. We were right there with them, and now they're having all this success. Why aren't we getting any of that? But, they can keep playing like this. I think they can. That's a great back pass. Carrion will attempt the hard clear. Didn't get the best contact on it, so it's gone right to Monkey Moon. That ball being low is the difference between Solary attacking and BDS attacking right now. It's still small margin for error in those power clear situations.
Solary have set a fantastic pace for themselves so far. They have not engaged BDS in a game of pace. Instead, just waiting for their opportunities. That one was a game of pace, and Exotic came out with flying colors off the ceiling. He has been living so far this series for his best players. Extra now. Wants to see if he can cause another double commit. Will not happen. Every time BDS are pressing forward, looking for that one major challenge, that'll give them the space that they need to create a shooting opportunity. Solary are coming out on top. More than well enough. Carrion will clear.
Wow.
There's no one to really aim for, though. But here's good pressure. Exotic lays it off to Yukis, and Yukis went straight for net. Monkey Moon had that angle covered.
Shogun, this is a great 0-0, considering how few shots there have been. This is a fantastic back and forth. Both teams trying to out-clear each other. They're just taking each other on. Oh, that's the miss by Carrion. He's got backup, though. He's got backup, so it's not a problem. Faking, just wanted to use that new quick chat. Speaking of new, welcome to anybody who's watching Rocket League for the first time. It's just gone free to play. I'm sure there's a lot of new viewers coming to the game to check out what it looks like at the highest level. They're wondering, wait a minute, the cars can fly? I was playing this game earlier. It was just everybody driving around. What on earth is this? And yeah, that's right. It is a game with quite a few levels to it. And, enjoy your stay. Maybe one day this could be you. Oh, maybe one day you could be putting in the winning goal in an overtime against the 2-time European champions, Yukis, with a brilliant finish, marked by 8, caught with a 3-point turn in net, and it is Solary 2-1 ahead. they were up against it in that third game. BDS brought it to them for the majority of it. That's against the run of play. Still, like I said earlier, great look for Solary today.
And for Solary, you know, they're not playing exciting Rocket League right now, but they are a purist dream. You know, I'm sure all of the coaches from the scene right now are looking at this going, yeah, no, this is good. This is good rotation. This is smart gameplay. They're not doing what they don't need to do. And for Solary, just stripping all of this back to the pure fundamentals of how to play this game is giving them fantastic results, because whilst BDS have got really good possession, they're not making our lads over on Solary blink too much when it comes to defense this game. There wasn't as many shots to find the double commits.
It was all about timing, I would say, for BDS. The timing was a bit off. They had, you know, plenty shots on net, but none of them were too threatening. None of them forced those double commits like they did in Game 2. None of them were, you know, paired up with a demo or a bump, or even the threat of a demo or a bump. You don't actually need to make contact, as we've seen recently with the opposing team's goalkeeper. Just a mere presence of a player, you know, speeding across the defensive box is enough to get goalkeepers jumping out of position and you know, ending up in the wrong place, so they can't make a good save after they've avoided the bump or the demo. We didn't see any of that from BDS. They're taking on Solary in what I would equivocate to a baseline rally in tennis. Both teams are just sitting back and they're just smashing the ball at each other and seeing who's going to make the first bad hit on it. You know, BDS fancy themselves in that matchup. They probably think that their hard clears are as good, if not better. Oh, that's a great pass by Monkeyman. Beautiful vision. But, you know, it's a risky thing to do against Solary. They're not a bad team mechanically. They definitely know how to hit the ball hard. That is such good vision, though, by Monkeyman. Had both defenders convinced he was shooting, and Extra was wide open for the pass.
Well, sticking with the tennis analogy, you always will see BDS. Once they get you in that slightly awkward position, they are running up to that net as quickly as they can, and they look for the smash. Monkey Moon gets another one on the board. And Solary needs to keep this competitive, otherwise it'll be very sobering to be heading into Game 5 after being quite far down against BDS.
That's another beautiful passing play by BDS. The 1-2, Monkeyman up to Extra, who, again, just completely surprised the defense by playing the ball in the opposite direction from what they were expecting. They're maybe expecting a knock onto the backboard, especially after last game. Oh, talking about passing plays, Solary respond with one of their own.
Well, talk about fundamentals. Well, get rid of that for now. Huge demo by Exotic. Opens up the gap. To me, to you, to net. And that is massive for Solary. They are right back in it, and they did it in no time at all.
Yeah, I'm still extremely impressed with Solary today. I don't think they've beaten BDS at their best yet, but they have beaten BDS twice, and that in and of itself is an accomplishment these days. You know, especially after that tough 3-2 win in the previous round of Swiss, we thought this was going to be a completely one-sided series. But yeah, Solary looked like the real deal. I'm curious what BDS are going to do with this lead. Are they going to keep trying to press for more goals, or will they sit back like they did in the last couple of games and take on Solary in that heavy-hitting matchup? I don't think they should. I think it would be a good idea for BDS to keep up the pressure. Solary are quite comfortable playing that power clear versus power clear matchup. Right now it's all Solary in attack as BDS hold on. But the demo on the Extra is going to get Solary right back in offense.
This is the first time I've ever heard Johnny say that BDS should not engage in the long clears. It's been their forte all season long. Whenever a team does it, they get instantly shut in. Solary doing well enough so far. Extra pops up. Right back to the corner. Solary looking to try and break away here, but they've got an infield option. Yukis has got Exotic moving with him. So chooses to give it away, and there is a demo off the ball, but Monkey Moon just powers it back up. It's turned into a bit of a race up field now. Kiss back to Kerry, and it's off the crossbar, follow up by Exotic, and marked by 8. Shuts the shot down. Another good shout, though, from Solary, and they're showing us a little bit more to their passing game this game.
Yeah, that was very nice again. Very quick passing play. BDS were keeping a keen eye on it, though. After the first goal they conceded, they, I think, became aware, okay, hold on a second, these guys are starting to pass infield. They're not just smashing the ball at the backboard now. Got to keep an eye on that option as well. But yeah, Solary have to be a team that are making it out of this group with how well they're playing here. There's just no way that you can't imagine them failing to make it out of a top-heavy group like this when they're taking BDS game after game right down to the wire. Even that 3-0, you know, we saw a couple of defensive misplays, but those were unforced errors. It wasn't BDS just dominating them. It was just Solary making a couple of mistakes that they can easily correct.
Certainly could be the case. It's a very long day that we have here on the Swiss system. You have to be capable of bouncing back after a poor result. Over to the wall. Monkey Moon will always be there to meet this one, but he hasn't got a follow-up from a teammate this time around. Instead, BDS sitting back a little bit more here, not as quite aggressive as we have got used to seeing them. Instead, looking to just try and break down this defense piece by piece, steal the boost where you can. Maybe see that one mistake. Monkey Moon does not get the power he needed. He's not going to be able to chase up. Carrion already moving. Goes underneath one. Couldn't get the second block. That would have been massive for the team if he could have got a two-player move out. Sorry, stuck in the blue side of the field here. Gotta find something. Power clear. Try and force some awkwardness. As Exotic looks to try and pop it to a teammate. Nobody around for him.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people watching might be just thinking, what are Solary doing? They just keep hitting the ball away. They just keep giving it to the other team. But they're just really struggling to get the ball past BDS, who are challenging really well at the midfield. Like, this is such a difficult team to get past. Oh, they found a way through, though. It's a pass in defense for Carrion. And BDS, third man, steps a bit too close to the sun. That's a sick pass, actually. Exotic stuck it right in Carrion's stride.
That's exactly what they need. They don't want to go to game 5 here. 2 each. And a win for Solary would be massive. They'd have 3 match points.
Oh!
Well, he's pretty to go through, but Monkey Moon has just levered this with an outstanding flip reset.
Oh, you joking? He flew behind that ball. He didn't turn his car upside down immediately like most players will these days. You know, the reset is usually something you can see coming because as soon as a player will jump up for an air dribble, they turn their car around and the entire defense panic at the same time. They think, yeah, he's going for the flip reset. But this time, Monkey Moon left it till the last second. He just flew after the ball, made it look like a fake air dribble. Then he turned upside down and immediately flicked it into the roof of the net. Insane timing. And now Extra with a double touch makes it 4-2. BDS lost their lead and responded like champions.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, again, good luck. That's all we can say for you on Solary. They have looked so good. They've managed to fight back into this game numerous times. But BDS showing what they're capable of in game 4, and if they look like this in game 5, it might have been an opportunity gone for Solary. This game is now gone from them unless they can score off this play. And then they require something off the kickoff, but not going to happen for them. And all attention turns to Champions Field. And I do have a little bit of a worry here, Johnny, because, you know, I've heard us talk like this previously, and it was last week when I believe we were casting V1 against G2. And we were saying all the same things about V1 in that situation of this team looks fantastic. Yeah, they've lost here.
True.
But they've looked too good to go out here in stage 1. And they did. So for Solary, whilst this looks good so far, you want the win right now.
Very true. You know, I think one of the things that some teams in the new RLCS format have struggled with is not being able to play at their own top level when they're playing against a team of lesser skill. You know, teams that kind of play to the level of their opponents. Solary are having a great series here against BDS, the best in the region. Solary are hanging there, right there with them. They found a 2-goal comeback here past an insanely difficult BDS midfield defense. You know, they were pressing up as a unit. You'd see one challenge coming in for BDS, followed up immediately by a second one every single time. And that is so difficult to get the ball past. It's so difficult for Solary to just move the ball into the BDS half. So before they can even think about shooting, they managed it. And then BDS come back anyway with a couple of incredible solo goals. But this is a big chance. Early on, Exotic, 3 seconds in, wasted no time converting that kickoff goal.
I think you might have delayed the original run because there is not even a slight slowdown here from Exotic. Wow. Right in on it. goal within 3 seconds, and you were talking there, Johnny, about a team that plays their opponent's level. Well, a team that can take the 2-time regional champions to Game 5 after only just going against 5 against the last resort definitely sounds like one of those sort of teams.
Exactly what I'm thinking about, you know, a team that struggle against the last resort. And, you know, I'm no disrespect to the last resort, but they're not a team that we think are going to be making top 16 and making it into that first major. They're a team who are, I think, going to, you know, maybe peak and maybe start to play their best Rocket League together next split or the one after. But right now, it's teams like BDS, and, you know, we expected teams like Solary who are in the conversation for making those deep runs. Great response again from BDS. Marked by 8, just put that one close enough to the bar that the defense, they weren't sure. Exotic just couldn't know for sure if that was going in off the bar, if it was hitting the bar, if it was catching it flush. And he jumps up into his corner, realizes, yep, that's actually a pass, that's not a shot. And it's now 1-1 without much time wasted. Is it going to be 2-1? It is. Monkey Moon finds the bottom corner. Solary are now the team slightly out of position with their third man.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, 2 players heading straight into the middle right, and neither of them making any contact. So Solary causing their own problems here. BDS just playing around them. Can Solary fix this up quickly, or are they going to concede another one before they can stop the bleeding? Here comes Monkey Moon. Yukis has to be very worried where he's putting those. Carrion's moved up. He's not got contact. And it's a huge save. Solary look rattled here, and they've got to figure this out.
Yeah, they just got to calm down. It's, you know, I'm getting Game 2 vibes here where the defense is panicking. The shots are coming in from BDS, and Solary are just jumping and hoping that they're going to make contact before really thinking about what they're doing and where they're going to be hitting the ball. Well, you know, so far we've had 3 incredibly volatile kickoffs. Every single kickoff this game has been an explosive one, with both teams cheating so close on the follow-up. You know, that's just the risk you take. You know, you might get a kickoff goal like Solary did in the first one. You might get a double commit if you end up too close to one another and leave your third man in a 1v2 or a 1v3. That's, you know, every team likes to run that risk these days. It is the meta to just have an extremely close cheat. So if you do get the perfectly aligned stars, like Solary did at the start of this game, you get a free 1-0 lead.
Now, not to fully take away from the pace of this, because I want to get back to it as quickly as possible. Quick little update to other score lines happening around. Guild currently taken to Game 5 against Barrage, as we have got Marked by 8 looking to go the whole way. 3-1. BDS have figured this out.
I think Mark heard you talking about Guild. He says, Shogun, listen, mate.
We already beat Guild numerous times.
I'm air dribbling. Just look at this. I'm air dribbling. Forget Guild. Oh, man. BDS know how to step it up with these solo plays. We've seen a couple of good, you know, plays from Solary as well. You know, I think if Exotic scored that double touch with the flip reset in the middle, it would have eclipsed anything that BDS have done this series. But the sheer volume of solo plays that BDS have made, another level entirely. They're definitely a step ahead of Solary in that regard.
The only other result I would currently look towards is that Endpoint currently 2-1 up against Top Blokes.
Wow.
Which, you know, we weren't too impressed by Endpoint coming into this. That would be a huge result for them.
Yeah, certainly, especially because that would ruin Gibbs' 3-0 Top Blokes prediction. So I'm very excited.
This, otherwise, I'm in bad trouble.
I'm very excited to hear that Top Blokes are struggling. Sorry, Top Blokes, but Gibbs predicted you to go 3-0, so I have to root against you. No, I don't think anybody expected this. Go to Game 5. That's almost in. Mark just watches it come off the inside of the post, and now he's going to dribble past one. He has the ball back under control, flicks it over to second. Extra and Monkey Man are both there in support. It looks like Yukis has done enough. He's covered enough for the goal. BDS will have to say goodbye to that chance on net.
Drop back to Carrion. He didn't have Yukis on the left-hand side to really work with, so instead chose to power the ball to the back of the field.
Yeah, poor. It was a very poor shot there by Carrion. The consistency of the power hits and the power shots seems to be deteriorating as this game gets later on into the final few seconds of the match, really. You know, it's going to feel like a very, very short 75 seconds if you are a Solary player. But, you know, they've got to believe. They've made it to Game 5. They made it to Champions Field against the EU champions. you know, got themselves in a winnable game. It's a very, you know, difficult game, but it is still winnable. So they've just got to up the pressure, create some chances, and then see what happens.
Yeah, when it comes to BDS, those chances are not going to be handed over to you. BDS don't make those sorts of mistakes. As Monkey Moon will clear yet again. Exotic is determined to keep this ball in that final third, but it has not worked. Marked by 8 clears the pressure, and he's got a huge block. Get out of here, says Marked by 8. That is monstrous.
My goodness. What a game Mark is having. First the solo air dribble, and now the underdunk 4-1. You know, I talked about 3-1 being still a winnable game. I don't know anymore. I think this might be GG's. And unfortunately, despite Solary's best efforts here, despite keeping this, you know, scoreline extremely respectable in the series, they'll still be dropping back to that 1-1 score, joining all the other teams who have 1 series win and 1 series loss on their record today. BDS, as expected, will be going 2-0 in the overall standings. And yeah, but it's the things, they might meet some unexpected competition once they get there. If Endpoint can close out that series against Top Blokes, and yeah, BDS might have quite an easy end to their day.
Extra looks for net, but he's not going to get anything for it. He doesn't need anything for it. BDS have seen off the challenge. They take this game and they head on through to the qualification rounds. As for Solary, they passed the test in terms of game quality. Now they face a new test. Can they do what V1 couldn't do in the North American regionals and figure out what to do after a loss?
Yeah, there's no question. Solary are still a very legitimate team when they can play when they can play up to the level we expect from them. This was overall a very impressive series. I'm sure that everybody who's woken up early and caught the first broadcasted match today are delighted that they did, because that was brilliant from Solary. One of the best performances we've seen from them all season. And like I said earlier, I really expect them to make it through, but you've got me doubting it. I won't lie. You've got me doubting slightly, making that V1 comparison. Because Solary haven't been able to deliver consistent results against the lower quality teams. So keep an eye on that bracket. Keep an eye on this team. Clearly, when they do make it into these top matches, they can perform. They can make it interesting. But BDS, still the team to beat. They went to Game 5, but they got the W.
So, Johnny, I get to be right with BDS moving through. You get to be right because the former Monkeys have managed to win their game to head over to 2-0 on the day. But if you want to go and see whether or not Gibbs can be right, then make sure you head over to twitch.tv/eLeague TV to see how that Game 5 is going between Endpoint and Top Blokes. When we come back, it is going to be round number 3. We're going to find out who is heading through to Saturday.